Hey, welcome back to another episode with me, Muddy Soap, and today we're going to be deep diving into the showcase of Dragons Dogma 2 that Capcom released. Now I'm a little bit late to this one. If you don't know, I actually moved house, and it's taken a while for me to get settled in, hence why I'm late to this video. But I managed to set my computer up and my recording stuff. I got it set up in such a way to where I can at least do something. And since this video released, what better time to just do a video and, get back into the swing of things. So here we are, we're going to be looking at the video, so by all means, grab a snack, get a drink, get comfortable, and we will have a look at the showcase, the trailer. So here we go. Now let me go back. The bell has tolled on the age of the console. Now I like this scene because this sort of castle reminds me of like Hogwarts, like the sort of the main hall, if you will, where they have dinner and whatever. But that's the throne room. It also kind of reminds me of the Red Keep from Game of Thrones. But that's the room where all these nobles here are dancing, having a feast, having a good old time. And then Brant, this guy's name is Brant. He says the return of the sovereign. Now sovereign, to my understanding, it means like monarch or person with great power. So we don't actually get a good look as to who this person is. We only get to see their legs and their feet. So this could be us. This could be the Arisen. It could be the Dark Arisen. Or it could even be the Prince. We don't know at this point. I'm kind of thinking it's us, the main character. Or even the Dark Arisen. I don't know. This scene kind of reminds me of the bit in the first game where you first go to see the king and they put a jester hat on you and they all laugh, like all the nobles and stuff, they all laugh at you. So they could be mimicking that scene from the first game. So this could be us, or it just could be the Dark Arisen guy. It says Capcom presents. Now this is cool. We're seeing the city. This is the main hub, I'm guessing. We're seeing this from a different perspective. You know what, I won't bother. From a different perspective, but from that scene, the blue, what is it? The Blue Moon Tower, I think is what it's called, is actually to the right of this griffin, and it's a pretty big structure. So that's just off camera, you can't see it, but then we have that Spectre lady. Now this is interesting, I noticed this. This lady, I'm guessing she's going to be taking the place. Let's jump out of full screen here. And where did I put it? Was it this one? This one. I'm guessing this lady is going to be taking the place of the first pawn you come across, which is the Rook character. So I'm guessing she's going to be similar to this guy, who was the first pawn you come across. He introduces you to the pawn system as well, much like what she does. And also, she's wearing different clothing. She looks way, like, more posh. Did I get a picture of that? There we go. Right, found her. There she is. So you can see it's the same person, but she's wearing different clothing. She's got, like, this was the first trailer, by the way. And then this is the third of the showcase. Yeah, she's dressed up like a peasant here. But then in the showcase, she's wearing way more fancier clothes. Looks a lot better, in my opinion. Maybe they took some inspiration from Elden Ring, where the maiden, she was like a noble. She was dressed really nicely. So who knows? But yeah, they've changed their clothes for whatever reason. All the other guys, they look the same. Oh, except for the guy on the far left. Yeah, he's wearing something different. So it could just be that, I don't know, you maybe get different pawns. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, that was cool. I want to note something here as well. You see that shockwave that comes out? There's like a giant shockwave. Let me go back into full screen. When he hits the little gobbo, you get like a shockwave that comes out. Now I don't know if that's an attack, because you have different attacks that you can do, or if he did some sort of shield breaking attack or it was just a critical hit. But there's a nice little shockwave that comes out there. That's cool.
We pawns have long awaited your arrival.
And this is cool. This lady jumps off the back, does a backflip. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, she's definitely taking the place of the Rook character. Because he was the guy who introduced you to the, what were these called? Rift Stones? Were they called Rift Stones? I can't remember. But yeah, you interact with this and it opens up the pawns and you can hire and, you know, you can swap in and out pawns and stuff. So that's cool.
Learn all you can of this world you must protect.
We got the new biome. Middle Eastern inspired, which is cool. Desert regions aren't really my thing. I like foresty, temperate regions, but that looks cool. Fire and stuff. But that's the new Trickster class. We'll get into that more later on in the video. We'll do a talk about it a bit more. And then we've got these guys. Again, let me go back into full screen. We got elves. I cannot believe they actually added elves. That's so good. Because I was hoping there'd be elves in the first game, and there wasn't. If you don't know, in the first game, 60%, if you can believe it or not, can't believe they had enough to do a game, but apparently 60% of the original game was completely cut. So we only got 40% of what was actually planned with the first Dragons Dogma, and I'm assuming, because there was concept art for the elves and the beastmen and all that kind of stuff, they just didn't make it into the game, so it's nice that they've actually gone and put these guys in, which is great, because I love elves. Elves are probably my favorite fictitious faction or race.
Thou art arisen.
We've got Grigori doing his thing. Now this enemy, I can't wait to fight that one. Now this one's interesting. I don't know what the hell this is. Let's go back a bit and I'll try and freeze frame it. Here we go. This thing, it kind of looks like a bear, but then it also kind of looks like a giant wolf. So that could be a hellhound, it could be a warg, it could even be a werewolf, dare I say. But yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh no, wait a minute, is it the Hydra? No, not Hydra, sorry, Chimera. It could be the Chimera. Could be, maybe they already chopped his tail off. I'm seeing something there. I don't know what that is. We'll... Oh no, that's another pawn. That's what that was on the back. Okay, never mind then. Never mind. Medusa, let's get a screenshot of that. Look at this. Yeah, she looks good. Now, I also noticed that she turns these people to stone when they're not even looking at her. In Greek mythology, I think you had to actually be looking at her in order for you to be turned to stone. These guys are just running away, so it's just sort of like an AoE attack. If you get caught in it, I guess you just get turned to stone, I guess.
Here's my chance.
Now this is a new character. He's got like a Dothraki looking sword. It's got like, or it's, oh actually no, it's like an Egyptian sword even. But anyway, I think the Dothraki in Game of Thrones had these sorts of swords. We don't know who this guy is, or at least I don't. I don't know his name. And even on the website, we'll be going to the website and checking some of the characters out at some point. But he's not on there, so I don't know who this guy is.
If you're discovered, yours won't be the
Now this lady, I like this lady. Let's go back again. This lady, I'm just going to call her Mina because I can't say her name. She reminds me of this lady. Medeline. I don't know why. Medeline in the first game was kind of devious. A little bit of a... What was her name? She was kind of conniving and always up to something, basically. Always scheming. And I get... Here we go. I get the feeling she's going to be a similar character. So, let's continue.
If you're discovered, yours won't be the only head that roll.
We don't know who this guy is. Oh, he could be like a priest, like a dark priest, like the guy with the one eye that mind controls the Cyclops outside of the wooden fortress in the first game. Could be that type of character. Then we see the Dark Arisen again, who's usurped the throne by the looks of it. Now, I want to pay attention to this. I'm going to come back. I'm going to boost it so you guys can hear it. Now, just pay attention to what he says here.
When 'twas all but certain that her son would take his father's place, word reached the castle that the Arisen had been found.
Right, so he says, when it was all but certain when her son would take the throne, they found the Arisen, basically, I guess referring to you. And for whatever reason, that then means her son can't take the throne, I'm assuming? And so then, it says here on the character sheets, if we go to Disa, this is the Queen Regent. It says the Queen to the previous sovereign of Vermont, she took charge of the kingdom's government after his death. So I guess the king has died, and you know now she's ruling as a sort of caretaker, if you will. She schemes to install her beloved son Sven, which is this guy. So he's the prince, the rightful heir, but because, at least if that line's anything to go off of, because the Arisen gets discovered, he now can't ascend the throne. Now this is the bit I'm confused about. If that's the case, why then does she seat a false Arisen on the throne, which is that guy... let me see if I can find it. Here he is. So this guy. So this is, I'm guessing, the false Arisen then. And this is the guy who she... What's her name? Disa. Seats on the throne, tricking everyone that this is the real Arisen, trust me, we're doing the right thing. But as to how this gets her son on the throne, I don't know. Because this is not her son. This guy, where is he? Sven. This is her son. So how seating him on the throne, the false Arisen that is, puts her son on the throne, I have no idea. Typically speaking, if you put somebody on the throne, that means somebody else can't get it. So, but I'll continue reading this bit. So yeah, it definitely says there, she schemes to install her beloved son Sven as the next king. She has the grace and heightiness of royalty and is cool-headed and disdainful. So I get the feeling she's going to be like a Cersei character. This is probably one of the bad guys, basically. And then Sven, if we read his little thing. Now this, if you're wondering, this is the Dragons Dogma 2 official website, so you can go here, read all this yourself if you want. But it says here, the beloved son of the Queen Regent Disa, and a candidate to become the next council ruler. He is not party to his mother's conspiracies, so, you know, sort of preluding to that she's out for herself, or, you know, she's doing bad stuff and he's good at heart, I suppose. And he is concerned with doing the right, what is right. He has a princely elegance, but his boyish sincerity sometimes turns to naivete. So I'm guessing we're going to team up with this guy in the story and try to dethrone the false Arisen and put him back on the throne. I'm also guessing that the main character, he doesn't want to be the king. Right? He just wants to kill the dragon, save the world, put this guy on the throne, set everything straight, basically. So let's go back here. There's the dragon again. Oh, we got Minotaurs as well. Should we talk about? Let's talk about that. If we go back to the website, you can come here on the Monsters tab, and you can click on these pictures, and it tells you a little about them. So, furious and extremely fierce, a bull-headed monster. A single hit from their battle axe or charge attack can prove to be fatal. Now they kind of had Minotaurs in the first game known as, what were they known as? The Obliterators, I think they were called in the first game. I don't know if they were full-on Minotaurs though. They kind of looked like them. They had hooves for feet. They had horns on their head. But this looks way more... this looks way more... Can you play the video? This looks way more, better as an actual, you know, Minotaur. They're bloody massive. Big bull creatures. Be super powerful. Yeah, they look really cool. Glad to see they're in the game. And then we got this lady here. I'm guessing she's going to be taking the place of, what was her name? Quina, this lady here. Quina was basically your best friend. Or was it? No, was it your sister? Can't remember if she was the sister to the Arisen in the first game. Anyway, she was the one who nursed you back to health in the original game after the attack. And likewise, this lady nurses you back to health. After the attack in the second game, it seems. We can even read her little snippet here. Her name's Ulrika, the young leader of Melv. Young leader of Melv. That's maybe the name of the starting village. She has a strong sense of responsibility and trains diligently to protect her people when the Arisen was wounded in the dragon's attack. Yeah. She nursed them back to health. Yeah, right. So, she's essentially Dragons Dogma 2's version of Quina. So, that's cool to see. Some spells. That was the Maelstrom spell, I think. Yeah. It's cool. I like how the Cyclopses have this sort of makeshift armor on them as well now. The bloody Sphinx. Now this is cool. Now I got a little bit of beef with Capcom because they removed my favorite class. My favorite class was the Mystic Knight. Now this class is called the Mystic Spearhand. You get like a staff. Now it still looks cool, don't get me wrong, but I don't like it when you like something in one game and then the sequel comes out and that thing you liked is no longer in the sequel. I don't like it when games do that. And well, they've gone and done that with this. So they've taken out the Mystic Knight and have replaced it with this guy. Now, whether or not we'll get Mystic Knight back in the game in some form of like DLC, I hope so. Capcom, please, if you're listening, put the damn Mystic Knight back in. But this still looks cool. Like this guy, he has summoned some sort of specter, like a magical specter, and you're essentially attacking an enemy with two guys with magical attacks. So yeah, it still looks cool, but a little disappointed. And then we've got the Mighty Talos, which is just fucking boss. And then we got an empty throne, which is pretty symbolizing, I suppose. Yeah, the trailer ends on an empty throne, suggesting, I don't know, what I'm getting from it is that the throne's up for grabs. You know, it's a turbulent time in terms of the political state of the world, maybe. So yeah, you know, who knows? They might even let you decide if you want to become king, if you take the dragon's bargain, you know, like the other guy did in the first game. You could completely screw over the prince, or you can maybe side with the prince, fighting to get him on the throne. Who knows? So yeah, really, really cool. Cannot wait for this game. And then this guy's interesting. This is the Dragon Forged, if you don't know. I'll put a... Well, actually, no, I'll look for him now. So this is the Dragon Forged. This character was in the first game. I doubt it's the exact same character. If you don't know, in Dragons Dogma lore, the world is essentially a multiverse. And so there's a bunch of worlds that are all identical to each other, or at very least similar to one another. And so this is just the dragon forged in this world. And this guy, he failed when he was the arisen, because again, there's more than one arisen. So he failed to slay the dragon, and as a result, he became cursed. And you can't really see it on his arms, but his arms are actually burnt. They're scorched. They're all black. And again, if you're an arisen, you're immortal, basically. You don't die. So if we go to the wiki page here, the Dragon Forge, this was the one in the first game. He's over 1,000 years old. Okay? Which is why when you kill the dragon in the first game, this guy, he ends up just turning to dust. Because he's over 1,000 years old. And when you kill the dragon, you essentially break the dragon's curse. And all of the arisens that are still alive, they basically age up to the age that they should be. And so that's why he turns to dust when you kill the dragon, because he's over 1,000 years old. He just turns to dust. And that's also why subsequently the Duke rapidly ages to an old man, because, well, the Duke is like 90-something years old, and so, you know, that's that. But also notice there's a bunch of Minotaur skulls around here. There's like at least 3 on screen that we can see. There's some scribblings on the wall. But this guy, he was always like an advisor character. He sort of shows you the way. He's like the sort of grand master, you know, the kung fu master that takes on a new apprentice. So that's cool. Nice to see that character's returned.
I would gladly pass all of the wisdom I possess.
It's the dragon killing everyone. And then I'm guessing this is us. In some pretty fucking cool armor. Got some Dark Knight action going on here. And then a release date. 22nd of March. Which isn't too far away, but it's not super close. It's like, what, 4 months away at the recording of this video? So yeah. Cannot wait for this date. Cannot wait. Mark it in your calendars. I will definitely be playing this game, doing a let's play on it, streaming it, all that good stuff. Might even do some lore videos. I don't know. I haven't made my mind up yet. But we're gonna look at the Talos.
Emerging suddenly from the sea, we meet the giant Talos.
Now the Talos, this reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus, obviously, but the fight specifically, you fight him in like a canyon. Here we go. You fight him in a canyon, and this reminds me of the fight. I've actually got some pictures prepared. Where did I put it? Was it this one? Here we go. Lao Shao Lung. Now, if you don't know who this is, this guy was like the last boss in the original Monster Hunter game. Again, if you don't know, Capcom made Monster Hunter. And Lao Shao Lung, the way you fought him in a canyon. You fought him in a canyon, and you had a bunch of ballistas shooting at him. Even cannons and Dragonators and all that kind of stuff. So this is very reminiscent of Lao Shao Lung. The Lao Shao Lung fight in the original Monster Hunter. So, yeah, look at this. Anyway, so I love how they're sort of... The themes of that game, the original Monster Hunter, 20-something years later, is still being represented in another game. So that's cool to see.
We've prepared some additional gameplay footage of Talos, so take a look.
So they're going to showcase this now. But look at it. Ah! It looks so good. And he's just destroying everything in his path. Now, I would love to come to these sections before this set piece fight, and then come back after to see how it's changed. Now, okay, I got a little pet peeve here. I don't like the sound of the female voice actors. It just sounds ridiculous to me. I don't know what it is. Like, it sounds like a cosplayer, like an American cosplayer, trying to speak in the sort of Shakespearean way that they speak, and it doesn't sound genuine at all. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna turn this up so you can hear what I mean. Like, listen to this.
Fear will bring ruin wherever it treads.
It just doesn't sound good.
Hold it together.
See, now the male voice actors sound okay. Female voice actors, sorry ladies, but it just doesn't sound good.
It seems to me there are plenty of places our feet might find purchase on its hulking frame.
I like that bit. The harpy comes swooping in, trying to grab him. Oh, let's go up one. There we go. Watch this harpy come in. Look, nearly grabbed him. But I love this. I love that you can do this. I remember the first when the first game came out, I was trying to find any and all footage that I could of the game, and that was one of the first things that I saw, was that you can grab onto a harpy and get up onto a cyclops, for example. So you can use these to get to places that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. So love that they're bringing that back too. Now also, these bits on him, they look like wounds. These could be like giant arrows, or they could even be spears like what he had when he throws it at the bridge. And they've just broken off over the centuries and whatever. So these could be old wounds from old fights that this Talos thing's been in. So yeah, it kind of, these pieces do kind of look like this spear that he's got. So maybe once upon a time, these Taloses, there was more than one, and they used them as engines of war, you know, machines of war to fight each other. Because that does kind of, it's the same sort of diameter as this spear that he's got. So that's interesting. But this, look at this, he fucking throws the spear at the damn bridge. So they have the power to completely change the landscape, and that's what I mean. I'm interested in going to these places before and after this fight, just to see what it would be like, you know? Maybe certain places open up, other passages open up that otherwise weren't, you know, didn't have access to before. So I'm going to turn this bit up a bit.
The adventure takes place in a parallel world.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. It's essentially a multiverse.
Vermund is the human kingdom, where you will be drawn into the power struggle for the throne.
Right.
To have her son take the throne, the Queen Regent Disa plots to set a false arisen.
See, that doesn't make sense to me, though. Like I was saying, if she wants her son to be on the throne, why the hell would you place some other guy on the throne? Now you have to usurp it away from him. I don't get that.
But why are pawns serving a false arisen? On the other hand, the Beastren nation of Batal treats pawns as the source of misfortune, and instead worship the lamp in flame to ward off calamity with Empress Nadinia at its center.
Okay. So they don't like... That's going to be interesting when you go there with your pawns. What's that going to be like when they all start, you know, looking at you and stuff?
Both kingdoms recognize the dragon as a threat.
Grigori's looking
but
good.
Their thoughts towards pawns and the arisen differ. What will happen to the player caught between the beliefs and plots of these two nations? You can learn more about some of the game's intriguing characters on our official website. So, check it out.
Now this bit. Super excited for this bit.
In addition to the main quest line, you can talk to the inhabitants of this world to receive various quests and deepen your relationship with them. For instance, let's look at this quest where you need to befriend some elven siblings.
Love it. We get to go to see the elves.
Forgive me. You do not speak our
Does sound a bit
tongue.
weird, their
From this
language, I will
moment
admit.
forth, so long as you remain by my side, I shall interpret for you.
This, look at this. It looks so good. The forests, their buildings are built into the trees. And I like how they have kept the sort of traditional elven aesthetic. You know, they sort of high and mighty. Looks very like Rivendell from like Lord of the Rings. So yeah, I cannot wait to play these sorts of quests. I might even make an elven character, I don't know. So these guys go off to find his sister who's been kidnapped by an ogre. Ah, the fire effects as well on the weapons look so good. Because if you don't know, ogres, for whatever reason, have an affinity to women. So they just keep trying to kidnap women. Need a bonk on the head with the horny bat, I think.
I shall strike the beast's arm while my father holds its attention.
This is as much as I can show you for today.
But he saves her and he's running away with the elven lady in his arms.
In the footage, you can
And look at that. Oh, it looks so good.
The elves there communicate in their own language.
Let me turn this back up.
And while the Arisen doesn't understand the language
Okay, little Easter egg here. This was the original Arisen from the prologue in the first game.
of the elves,
So that's
if there's
nice
a
to see
pawn
that he's in
nearby
the
who
game.
does, they will automatically translate it for you.
Yeah, that's cool.
These
So
specializations.
you can get different pawns with different specializations that have different skills. So this guy, Woodland Wordsmith, he'll be able to translate stuff for you. So if you've got this guy, he'll be able to translate Elven language so you can understand it, which is really cool. And I'm really curious to see what different skills and stuff that they'll have. Also, they also seem to have personal quests. If you look up here, it says pawn quest, receive a raspberry, and then if you give this guy a raspberry, he'll reward you with 2 cranberries. So that doesn't sound like a big deal in terms of the rewards, but it's nice to see these pawns will have, by the looks of it, personal requests that you then can fulfill for petty rewards, I guess.
That
So
pawns
that's nice.
require will make each of them more unique.
What does that say at the bottom? The pawn who acquires this skill. Oh, it's just a little expert on what they do. Okay.
And hopefully more enjoyable to journey with.
This bit's cool.
Your burdens are shared between us pawns.
Yeah, so let's go back. So this guy, his specialization is that he can carry
your burdens are shared
he can carry stuff for you. So if we go back, you can see that the
More
Arisen,
unique. And hopefully
he's very heavy, so he's basically over encumbered. And then this pawn must have some sort of
more
specialization
enjoyable to journey
that
with.
can take your items from you and share the load. Logisticism? I don't know how you say that. Logisticism. Anyway, he took a bunch of items off you and he's you know, made you lighter, which is really good because the menu system in the first game wasn't great. There was like 2 separate menus, one for equipping things and one to use items. It was a bit convoluted, but yeah, all you had to do was go into the menus and you could use potions and whatever from your pawn's infantry.
It's not only the pawn's personality that reflects.
But from here, it looks like you'll be able to make a beast character. So yeah, I might actually make an elf character. I don't know. I might do that.
Just like in the first game, the player
Because you can do the ears and
Arisen
stuff.
in the main pawn.
That looks so good. Let me go back. I want to see what all the options are. So you can make a beast man, you got head, skin, brow, eyes, basically everything. Like, from what I remember, the character creator in the first game was one of the best character creators I've ever seen. To date, even. So yeah, look at that. That looks so good. So many options. But there's also, like, I like how you can, you can customize your character to a really specific degree with all these sliders and whatever, with everything. They've got like tilt, angle, size, style, like all of these things. So you could customize your character in any way you want. But then they also have this simplified aspect. If you can't be bothered to spend all that time, you can just click on the pictures that you like and it will sort of auto-generate a character for you. Yeah. That's really cool. And they've got the new vocations, the Trickster.
A new vocation that's sure to bring something unique to your gameplay experience.
Let me turn this up.
Exclusive to the Arisen, the Trickster is a vocation that wields the censer and uses the smoke it produces to conjure illusions.
Right.
By confusing the enemy into fighting...
So this is going to be like a supporting class. You know, I think they just did a spell just then. Let's see if they did it.
Produces to conjure illusions.
So this spell here makes them fight each other.
Fighting themselves through illusions, or increasing the power of pawns beyond the normal
so you can buff people.
For a limited period of time. This vocation focuses on support and use of unique
and also, we saw this spell in the previous trailer. Let me see if I can find it quick. So here it is. This is the Trickster here, and there's a gorge in between her and the Cyclops. But then she summons like this platform, which is very similar. Let me go back. Which is very similar to this. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a physicality to this. Although it's mist, like a smoke. I'm wondering if you can like maybe climb up this or walk along it, because what I'm seeing here, I'm assuming this is the same spell. What I'm seeing here is like a bridge, right? So I'm assuming you can use this platform to get to places you otherwise wouldn't be able to, you know, in other places and things. So that's really interesting that you can do that kind of stuff.
Vocation that takes advantage of the enemy's enhanced behavior AI.
Yeah, that's really cool. You can bring down griffins.
It's a great fit for players who prefer to step back from the action and manipulate the battle from the sidelines.
There's a decoy there. Product information. Oh, this is all the pre-order stuff.
Details to share.
I'm not really, like, I can't believe they're still doing this kind of stuff. I really don't care for this stuff. In fact, I don't know anyone that does. I mean, it must boost sales to some degree, otherwise they wouldn't keep bloody doing it. But all of this, it's useless. The only thing I'm interested in here is the music. The Dragons Dogma music and sound collection. That's it. The Rift Crystals, like, by the end of the game, you have more Rift Crystals than you know what to do with. And it's the currency to hire other pawns and stuff. Wake Stones, extra lives. What's this? Verbiant Rift Incense. Don't know what that is. Heartfelt Pendant. This is probably something you can gift to NPCs to gain affinity with them. Makeshift Girl Key. Don't know. Might be used to enter certain special dungeons and stuff. Harpies. Harpy Incense attracts harpies. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, well, it could be useful if you're trying to use a harpy to, like we saw in the Talos fight, they used a harpy to get on to the Talos. So that could be useful in that fight. And then Art of Metamorphosis. Oh, that basically lets you change your pawn's behavior. All of this stuff, I'm assuming you can just buy in the in-game stores, in the games, you know, from the merchants. And then this is just a reskin of the camp. So you're gonna get the camp anyway. This is just a reskin of it. So honestly, everything here except for the music collection, pointless. Don't care. Don't care.
Such as a special camping kit, along with other orders of the standard edition.
And then this again is pointless. Like, it's an RPG. You're going to be picking up new weapons every 30 minutes to an hour, I guess. You'll have these for the first 2 hours of the game, and then you'll never bloody use them again. So again, this is pointless. I don't know why they bother with this stuff. Really don't care for this stuff. And then they've got a Ring of Assurance. Now, based on the name of it, Adventure's Safeguard Ring of Assurance, maybe they're doing a Dark Souls thing where when you die, you lose experience, and if you have the ring equipped, it stops you from losing your experience. I don't know. I'm just going off that idea based on the name. Like Safeguard Ring of Assurance. But we don't know what that says. But then it even says down here, note, above bonus may also be available later. So it's not even an exclusive to the deluxe pre-order edition. So, meh. Don't care. Don't care.
So, what did you think? The development team is currently making final adjustments to Dragons Dogma 2. We're all doing our best and hope you can wait a little longer until the release of the game. Before we go, let us show you some footage of the monsters we couldn't cover today.
Now this bit is
and the Doulahan,
very interesting. I want to see that more. I want to see more of that.
Which were also in the first game.
Oh, so we get the classes.
Thank you so much.
Right, so let's get into the monsters then. So we got a warrior class taking on a Drake here. And he just beating the absolute shit out of it. The fire as well, look at the fire! The fire looks like it's a physical thing, like it doesn't just look like it's smoke, you know, it looks like a physical thing. And also, notice how he's like just walking on the back of the monster. I think before, I don't think you could do that before. I think you actually had to be clinged onto them. If you try to walk on them, I'm pretty sure you would just slide off. He smashes the head. Now this is the one of the enemies that I'm really interested in. And I never noticed before. I only noticed this while I was watching the footage back. I thought this was a lantern, but no, this is his actual head, and he's just holding it as if it is a lantern. Which is really cool. I love that design. And imagine being held by this phantom armor. And imagine the POV you would have by him holding you up like this, and all you see is this decapitated head just staring into your eyes. That would be pretty terrifying. And then just bitch slaps him down, and then this bit coming up here, this is great. You can double cast spells, and they do the, what was it, Grand Bolide or whatever the hell it was called, the meteorite spell. Get one more look at that, because that is so good. Gets bitch slapped, and he's like, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna beat the hell out of you, and he does this spell. So yeah, calms down, boom, absolutely wrecks him with the spell. And that's it. That's the showcase. Cannot wait for this one. So with that, thanks for watching if you did. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. By all means, leave a comment. I like to hear what you guys think. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.